There is a current debate among people in the NASCAR media on whether Kyle Larson should be granted a waiver after he failed to complete a lap in the Coca-Cola 600 due to the race being called early. He obviously was there, was suiting up, and was going to complete the race if they had gone back green. However, NASCAR called the race early and awarded the win to Christopher Bell. And so now there is a debate on whether or not Kyle Larson should receive a waiver, given the fact that he did not compete in the Coca-Cola 600. According to the NASCAR rulebook, all competitors in the NASCAR Cup Series must race in all 26 races to be eligible to compete in the NASCAR playoffs. However, a team and a driver can request a waiver in order to be exempt from that rule and still compete in the playoffs. We have precedent for this. Obviously, Kyle Busch was given a waiver after he was injured. Chase Elliott was given a waiver as well after he was suspended for a race. We have seen NASCAR hand out these waivers, but some in the NASCAR media are saying that Kyle Larson should not get a waiver. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. One of the individuals who thinks that Kyle Larson should not get a waiver is Jordan Bianchi. If you are not familiar with Jordan Bianchi, he is a NASCAR writer for The Athletic. This is what he had to say on the Teardown, part of the Dirty Mo Media Network. Let's take a listen.
I don't think he deserves a waiver. I think it opens up a Pandora's box, and it is a bad precedent to set. Yes, they have given him for suspensions before, but it happened. You could make the case that it's when those things have happened, they've happened in NASCAR races and such. And you look at this scenario, and this was a choice they made, but you knew going to Indy brought risks. And there was consequences, and you just skipped, which is supposed to be a marquee crown jewel race, a race that you just said awards more points, so technically more important than any other regular season race because of the points awarded. And instead, you went to Indianapolis, and it's great. I'm glad you made that effort. Absolutely, you had every intention of coming here and running the race and starting the race, and I get that. But once things got kicked down the road in Indianapolis, why did NASCAR, your full-time job, why did that have to move to the back burner? Why was that not the most important thing? When you're racing for a championship and everything else and it sucks that Indianapolis had that delay, absolutely. But why is it that we have to suffer? Shouldn't have been hey, you know what? This sucks. We came here to Indianapolis. We wanted to do this, but we just had a 4-hour delay. Sorry, we're going to have to come back next year. Why is it that when we did nothing wrong, we didn't ask to be put in the situation, why is it now that we find ourselves without our star attraction, our championship points leader in a crown jewel race? I don't like it. And I will say this. If you look at the team, I think you could even say, I'll be very careful I use this word, I think if I was a member of the 5 team, I would say, man, you know what? If Larson's in that car, we've got a great chance to win that race. Well, guess what? That means more money in my pocket because I get bonused. And we have a great chance if he's in this car to get more points and to strengthen our championship lead. And I would bet that probably Hendrick rewards bonuses for where you finish in the regular season, right? And so guess what? Now our championship push to win the regular season title took a hit. He's still very much in it, don't get me wrong, but took a hit. And now that potentially could take more money out of my pocket. Furthermore, we lost the opportunity to get bonus points for the playoffs, which means come the playoffs, we find ourselves in a precarious spot. We could be on the wrong side of that line because those points that I lost at Charlotte would have been the difference. Again, more money out of my pocket. This potentially, and this is not hyperbole at all, potentially could impact Kyle Larson in the championship. So no, I'm not in favor of a waiver for those reasons.
So there you go. That is what he had to say. Another member of the media, Toby Chrissy, agrees with Bianchi. He says, unfortunately, I agree with Jordan Bianchi on this one. I was already feeling it was borderline for a waiver as it's skipping a NASCAR race for a competing series event. but to also not complete one lap of the race, I could absolutely see a waiver not being granted. So I disagree with both of them. I think that Jordan Bianchi is literally just creating drama to create drama. I don't think he actually believes anything that he is saying. I think he strung up a bunch of talking points that he could debate with Jeff Gluck here. So they had something to talk about after the Charlotte race, the Coca-Cola 600. And I think that's all it is. I think it's a bunch of hot air. I think that he doesn't actually believe any of this. And it's utterly ridiculous. The fact that he is just kind of dismissing intent completely is utterly ridiculous. Intent does indeed matter. It matters in almost everything that we do. Just look at the criminal justice system. Intent clearly matters. Kyle Larson had every intent to compete in the Coca-Cola 600. He is not in control of the weather. He is not God. He tried to get to the Coca-Cola 600 and compete in that race. They happened to go under a rain and weather delay at the time that he arrived at the track. He was literally suiting up. There are videos of him suiting up, ready to go. It was NASCAR's choice to end the race early. They could have stayed and dried the track and got them back on the track and gone green. They could have postponed the race till today and raced today. So it's utterly ridiculous to claim that Kyle Larson should not get a waiver. He should not be eligible for the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs because he tried to compete in the most prestigious race of the year, the Indianapolis 500, that brought enormous attention to NASCAR. And your claim is that he's injuring NASCAR by competing on the biggest stage in motorsports? Absolutely ridiculous. Makes absolutely no sense. And I think it hurts Jordan Bianchi's own reputation by even saying this stuff. I think Breakard says this. If NASCAR had a 36 race points championship, we're not having this discussion. Yeah, you don't need a waiver because it's all about accumulation of points. You miss a race, you go on. The Car Store does that. Carson Quaffle, he missed a race to go compete in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. One could argue that that is a competing series for the Car Store. He's still in the chase for a championship there. He's only like 20, 30 points out. He had a rough race at Tri-County this past weekend. That's why he's so far back. He was a lot closer coming into the race. He got punted by 22 car, whose name escapes me at this moment. They both went to the rear towards the end of the race. Wasn't able to pass it. Really hard to pass the Tri-County. Big one groove track. Unless you have a really good car that's hooked up, get onto to race on the bottom of the track there. But Scott Tapley here says it best. There are only two acceptable answers to the should Kyle Larson receive a waiver debate. One, yes, or two, is this a serious question? I love a good debate as much as anyone, but this isn't a seriously debatable subject. I 100% agree. Scott Tapley is right. End of discussion. Give Kyle Larson the waiver. Let's move on. Let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below.